Hey guys, welcome back to Clash with Bando. Tonight you see I'm doing a recording from Above and Beyond, and it's another organised war. It was back-to-back organised wars there. Some pretty exciting stuff. LP3 Chiron. Now, I've never heard of these guys before, to be honest. I've never heard of a lot of the clans we have until we actually war them, as I do sort of keep my head under a rock sometimes. And what a really interesting war to see a lot of different things come out. So after a big war versus CS, we've won this war by 8 stars, and it only got made to look a little bit better at the end there. As you can see, a couple of Town Hall 10s on their side heading down just to top up the stars and get a few 3 stars. So from our side of things, where's my list? From our side of things, we had a pretty awesome war. We had our Town Hall 9s absolutely smash their Town Hall 9s and even do a few hit-ups. So we managed to have one of their Town Hall 9s hit the Town Hall 11 pretty early. There was just the one Town Hall 11 in the war, and then also 5 Town Hall 10s and a 9.5, then 23 Town Hall 9s. So I'm just going through the attacks and defense here. So for us, we did have 2, 4, 6, 7 people with 6-star wars. So if we just have a look back there, you've got Stevius, Tank, Inars, which is Shane backwards, I'm told. It's myself, Milk Tea and Teo. So really awesome war. But for statistics and what I sort of analysed after the Cold September War, we saw they were very reliant on Valks, and we did have a lot of our guys swap over to Valks and all of that kind of stuff in the war quite early. And what did I notice? I did notice that there was 13 first hit 3 stars on our side for the Town Hall 9s, and then also there was only 5 on their side. So what was interesting about that was it's just obviously a big mismatch there. I'll start the replays going, and I'll just do a little bit of talk over, so we're not, spending half an hour over the one video. But this first hit here was from Emin, and this was quite late in the war, and he's absolutely smashed it. This is something I'll talk about later as well. So what we noticed was the first hit 3 stars were massive out of them, and out of the first hit 3 stars, 6 of the first hits were the mass Valk combo. So we had 6 guys trial mass Valks this war, guys and girls I should say. This is a mass Valk attack here on a Town Hall 11, so Town Hall 10. So we had, out of the 23 3 stars versus the Town Hall 9s, 6 of those attacks, so just under a quarter, were mass Valks, but all of those were first hit 3 stars. So when you're talking 13 first hit 3 stars, 6 of them being mass Valks, it's just an absolute massive combo at the moment. So to see that on the side of it and then sort of go, wow. Other things that were used was Govaho was quite a solid combo, and that had 5 out of the 23 bases it annihilated, and 2 of those were first hits. And then also the Queen Walk with a Govaho, and that was 6 out of the 23 in there. So out of the 23 Town Hall 9 3 stars, 17 of the attacks we used in this war were involving Valks in some variation. So you see Valks have became a very real combo now currently in clan wars at Town Hall 9. I think it's a little bit broken. I'm a little bit worried that it's going to create clans that are too used to spamming things down. But you can see here Emin's attack on their number 2, being a mass Valk, he used a freeze in the midfield there and 2 rages. It absolutely annihilated it. And he didn't even control the clan castle. It had a balloon in the clan castle outside of the freeze. It did nothing to control it. So Stevius had a 6-star war, and his armies were very similar. And we're talking pretty reasonable basis here. 87k is quite reasonable. That's max Town Hall 10 defences like your Infernos and Expos, but just missing it, obviously some of the point defences. And with the changes we saw with the weights of bases, you're seeing very little difference from 87 to 86k, but then you go to 88k, and it's a massive difference. All those point defences get involved, and it's very hard at Town Hall 10 level to defend now. From what I've seen, these styles of attacks, these are very real, and we're talking from the Town Hall 10 side of things. I'll show all 5 replays, and the 5 replays out of them, they all had Valks. So 4 of them were Queen Walks Govaho, and the other one, which was the base I just showed last, that was a mass Valk attack. And you see here, 1 rage at the front and then 1 rage in midfield, and these Valks are just absolutely smashing it. The Queen's going around the outside, she's doing her job, and these Valks are just going through it. What I noticed with a few of the raids was you see the 2 rages get used, and then when they run out, the King pops his ability. And what that's doing is that's giving you a big damage boost to get through there. And Stevius did this well with his hogs in the back end, and getting them to keep clearing up and going through. So you saw the pups became a bit of an issue. They got the King down. They've done a lot of damage. So if he had have had less wizards or less things to actually shoot those, it would have actually worked out better for him. So it's very hard at the moment to see where we're going to be going, and I don't want the game myself to be outbalanced. And we saw Mass Witches got spammed when Town Hall 11 got the upgrades, and they took three attempts to actually fix that and rebalance it. So it was interesting to see exactly what they do with these Valks. So you see how close this Queen got. Brilliant raid, Steve. And for a 6-star war, what do? So yeah, it's really interesting seeing now where we are in the game and how much one small change with a unit can absolutely change the wars and how they go. And you know, Supercell do a great job balancing, but I think they've definitely got this wrong here, and they need to fix Valks. So I sort of feel that Valks, you see Stevius's 4th Earthquake there was a touch off. Good that he's doing it on the run because it's saving time. Watch his Queen here. I remember seeing this got really close. So what he's trying to do is to save the rage from his Queen, so then that way he can use those rages for his Valks, where he's going to get big push through the midfield. Worth mentioning too, you see Emmons' attack on number 2, that he had 2 giants. That was all he had at the start. 2 giants, a few wizards to clear, and then just got into his mass Valks. Look at the Queen. Oh, there she is. So we had a Hound in this CC again, and it's becoming a very interesting thing whether Hounds will get used as often now. I really don't think they will. He was lucky that the cannon by the Queen there, that's actually shooting his midfield group, and you just see the 2 Infernos in the middle just get absolutely annihilated. So Town Hall 10 bases are going to have to change. And the thing with the middle, you know, like Valks can take a giant bomb and keep going. Stevius used his heal for his hogs, and that kept all them going and jumping all over the walls. But bases like this that can be earthquaked out, and the earthquake got a lot of damage onto the Town Hall and that first Inferno, I think it did, and that allows him to move through. I'll throw the Clan Castle. That allowed him to move through that midfield just in no time. And with the attack speed increase from those Valks, they're just getting in and smashing stuff. So this was Fed's big hit on number 5. This was very early in the war, and it was a first hit. The other bases were all done by Town Hall 10s, but this one was a fresh hit very early in the war, and those just does things to make the enemy know that they're behind straight away from the start. So having the capacity to get this done is brilliant. We'll just speed the walk up a touch. So he uses that couple of hogs there to get that Clan Castle out. Dragon 3 Loon. He did this well. He didn't panic. The Queen's got 2 point defences on her, whilst that Dragon and those loons, the impending loons, coming up towards the Queen. Just the one golem, that was a Clan Castle golem, as he's running max Valks. This isn't a max Valk strat, but just with the single golem, that gives him enough time to get started. I did like the 3 Valks on the side there to get those trash buildings under control. That was a good herd, and it's also going to push them into the middle. And then he's got 1 rage to get that first Inferno. This is where it sort of slowed down. I love the poison. Both heroes that got, and in no time that Queen's dead. You just see it. You do see a little bit of a mistake there though with his jump. He realised he stuffed that up. Poor old Queen, he's going to shoot through the wall. So good use of his hogs here. He didn't just spam them all out. He's held onto them and watched what's going on. He's got cover down the bottom there now from his king. Queen's up top. She's still got her ability. Probably would have been better if he had have come up from under that bottom a little bit earlier and got that cannon especially and the archer tower, because they were firing at that king for quite a while. But yeah, got it worked through. Still had hogs left at the end. Still had his queen. Oh no, all the hogs died, sorry, my bad. But good amount of trash. And you see he's still working on his unit levels, you know. Still got level 5 wizards. It's a great raid fed. He missed his second attack. Not like Bando 80. Bando 80 noobed both of his attacks. What have we got here? Number 6. Now this was Shine's re-hit. Emin, this was the first base. Emin attacked, and he didn't really go in with a mass Valk. He went in with something which was more of like a Govaho, I think. But he did a really good map and showed out the base. He had like a 93% first hit, and that got it quite well. And Shine's come through with a Queen Walk Govaho as well. I think he's just got the single golem. So lucky with the poison there. Lucky he was running one, because that wizard, we know wizards in CCs can really stuff us up. I kind of like them a little bit better than loons at the moment, because they don't stack up on the loon, on the hound as well. So a wizard will get that loon we've seen many times. So he drops his golem down, drops his herd wizards, and then gets those Valks in there. The redheads just go nuts. Oops, Queen's firing at me, and Queen's dead. They just annihilated. It's really, really interesting to see the point we're at now. Out of the 5 Town Hall 10 3-stars, two free spells were used. And you see that was one of them just there on that level 2 Inferno, and yeah, it's making even freeze a very not needed spell, you know, with these mass Valks, because the Valks get in there and the Inferno's dead before it's going to do too much damage. It's just one of the, it's confused me a little bit, and I think I'm definitely not picked up with the changes. I haven't had a lot of experience with the Valks myself, because I hadn't upgraded them. I did hogs first on a couple of accounts, and I do sort of feel like I've missed the boat at the start, but seeing a war like this, being a part of it in the team and being able to analyse it at the end, it's going to make me do a hard swap at Town Hall 10. So great raid to all of our Town Hall 10s. All round, our war effort was just beautiful. You know, like only a 50% on that. And I tried a re-hit with mass Valks at Town Hall 11 and stuffed it. But for Town Hall 9s, I've got a few raids to show for that as well. And I'm going to show Stevious's attack on number 9 first. And this was a Queen Walk Govaho, I think it was. He's got Clan Castle Valks. So when you look at your Clan Castle Valks, the statistics, they've got an extra 200 hit points, and I think it's 14 DPS. So 200 hit points. They go from 900 to 1100 hit points. You've got to really analyse where you're using your troops. Are you going to use a Clan Castle Golem and get that extra 4 DPS and 200 hit points? Or are you going to take the Valks? For me, I think the Valks are just too huge an upgrade if you're going to be planning on using them in a raid. I love the use of goblins and the minions at the start there, just to get some really high hit point buildings out of the way and dealt with loss of 30 seconds on these raids. We need to make sure we're considering those things, and a lot of the time those buildings are free. So for around 6 unit space, He's gotten 3 storages out of the way, plus a couple of other buildings. Archers, Gobbos and CC and a witch at the tail. So these are all first hit replays I'm showing as well. Like I said, out of the 13 rehits, we had 6 of those were from Mass Valks. So the Mass Valk combo, I will show one today, and I think I'm going to be doing a bit of a special recap on it later on down the track. Just regarding it, as I do think it's quite a viable strategy at the moment. She's got good use out of that queen charge there. So she's gone through the guts, and she has cleaned up a fair bit. Good healthy amount of hogs. He did have 10 hogs in the one heel, and they've smashed it. Unfortunately, they got those double giant bombs at the end there. The Great Raid Steve. Now where are we? I was going to show tanks attack next. Was I? No, it must have been this one. Number 12. And this is one of these Mass Valks that I'm talking about. So you see, this is myself. He's one of our guys that normally does the drag holo attacks, but he's been playing around with the Mass Valks, and basically the Mass Valks, they're using 1 golem. That's just to get the wizards down, and it's around 4 wizards. It's not a huge amount. It's just enough wizards to get a herd out and get those Valks in. So you can actually use the Valks to do the side buildings and then push into the middle as well. And I think this was a hound in the clan castle. So you see that hound, it's just going to do nothing. It's going to do absolutely nothing to those Valks. And you see, basically, you're just trying to heal them up as best as possible, because they can take those double giant bombs. Golems generally get stuck from what I've seen. You see a nice use of a second heal there. The Queen, she's been following that hound, which kind of worked well because it gets the kill on that. And then the pups do split, which gives a bit of grief. You're probably a little bit quick on that first and second poison. But the Queen, she didn't get stuck by herself. So that's caught her along, and you just see the raw amount of Valks that are left. So really, those 8 pups shooting at that just don't matter. Still got both abilities left for the heroes. And this was a fresh hit, so yeah, I mean, dead zone bases, I think they're just going to be gone now. Dead zone bases, you imagine you throw your Valks in there, they are just going to absolutely wreck it. So this is an attack from Trance, and this was a Golar Loom. We did have 3 of these out of the 23, so it's good that our guys haven't all gone to Mass Valks. I don't think it's worthwhile everyone swapping to one strategy. I've always said that, and it's good to see we've still got a few guys and girls doing different raids. And this was Trance's Golar Loon. The 2 golems, 3 hounds, and you see those 2 air defences very, very tight. Lucky that he's got the Tesla farm at the same time, realistically. That's nice to get rid of that at the start. Unfortunately, Rage the King, just that touch too early, I think, because he's had nothing in the bag to get into the enemy Queen. And she's a level 30, so luckily enough, that second golem still had a little bit of life. And he's got that Queen on Queen action happening. So a good selection of where to start that Golar Loon from. Unfortunately, his Queen, she's strayed off the beaten path a little bit. So by doing what he's doing there, I think he was trying to get the hard swap on the Queen to be able to turn around and go and get that air defense. So if he had have used a wizard down there, that might have turned his Queen around as well. Level 30 Queen running around the outside, cleaning trash. But You do see a really good use of spells. That last rage there's brilliant. Heaps of loons left. Pups clearing everywhere. That's just a smashing attack, so well done, Trance. Now, I was going to go all the way down to number 28. This was one of Albert's attacks with milk tea. Now you see a lower base, good design. Expos on, one on ground, one on air, and this is his Govaho. So shattered Govaho, 2 golems. This seemed to be quite a standard army for Albert across his account, and he smashes it. You see he's only got a level 14 king, level 18 queen, and does really, really well with this. 2 jumps, 2 heals, so he's aiming to get good traction out of those Valks. What's good about the choice of his entry is you see there's a mortar down the bottom, so that's not going to be shooting the queen at the back. There was a wizard tower at the top end there, so that's not going to give his queen any grief, because you know the queen, she always hangs around the backside, and those outside point defences can give your queen a lot of dramas, so he handles that quite well. Heaps of hogs, no heals left now, but he just had the raw amount of hogs to be able to get in there. A few of his Valks went outside, but that worked quite well. So you just see a heap of hogs left. Didn't need his queen's ability, just popped that at the end there. So it was a good war for Albert as well. He did do a first hit on their 9.5. With his 9.5, it took the enemy one of their Town Hall 10s to get Albert down, so he's done really well there. So all up for us, I think, to especially be a second organised war in a row, a really, really impressive war. I mean, outside of me stuffing up on number 1, it could have been a perfect war. So with 1 Town Hall 11, 5 Town Hall 10s and a 9.5, we're seeing the fact that we're getting to almost perfect wars. And unfortunately LP3, they've just struggled that touch at the end there. They have missed some of our 9s. They did have a fairly average sitting on our Town Hall 10s in reality. They got no 3 stars on our 10s. So it's a good learning curve. I don't want to bag out LP3, definitely. They've showed up, they've organised a war versus us, and shit, I've been in wars where I've done terrible and learned. That's what it's all about. You know, we need to play versus these better opponents and see what the new strategies are and what they're doing and base-wise and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's about all I've got for now. If you guys enjoyed my video, please make sure you subscribe. And as always, I hope you've had fun and clash on.
You got his eye from across the room. You got